So I happen to rediscover my interest in Liberace, of all people, just recently. Kind of stumbled into some of his videos on YouTube, and there's quite a bit of obscure material out there. YouTube is really exceptional at finding very unique pieces of music, and I'll give it that because I've heard some really cool things that were so cool that later got taken off of YouTube, and you never find them again. But at least I got to hear them once. But anyway, so what he did is he created a cool piece, basically the mix between a Rachmaninoff prelude, the one that everybody knows, and the theme from The Godfather, which is called Speak Softly, My Love, or something like that. So he combined the two of them. Brilliant idea. And they did a great arrangement of it. And it really is powerfully like strength in emotion. And maybe love and romance and all that stuff too. But when I hear it, I hear strength. That's when I hear a powerful melody, that's what I hear. So anyway, he did a great job, and he kind of combined them into making a concerto. So before all of these stars of today, there was like Liberace, and everybody was going to be the next Liberace, and he was quite a piano salesman because he was running around with all these incredibly large pianos and being very flamboyant about it and very extroverted about it, and people were fascinated with him. And he was one of the first stars of the superstars of the time, and so he kind of got buried in the rubble of all the new stuff that's been happening with music. But he's another one of those one of a kinds. They'll never ever be able to do it again unless they make like a simulation of it. But like Michael Jackson's a one of a kind, and Jimi Hendrix is a one of a kind, and there ought to be an award for one of a kind. Like when you get inducted into the Rock and Roll Music Hall of Fame. But so he was an incredible pianist, and that was kind of his claim to fame, was making these very unique arrangements of traditional pieces. And back in the day when people were taking like the profession of becoming a pianist seriously, the big thing that they were doing was creating their own arrangements of classic works, because it sort of benefited both. It created the ability to have a familiar music for the audience, and it created an incentive also for the publishers, because they had these people who were playing their works, and so there might be an incentive to help promote them and things like that. And it was also just like a sure thing for the performer, because you're bringing on all these people who want to hear this new version of a song. I can't tell you the number of times I've wanted to hear a melody or a song again, but just in a new way. And that's kind of what's becoming of the music world right now, is you can sort of structure music so that you can sort of have it fit whatever you desire because of AI and things like that. But he was one of the pioneers of this idea of making piano works sound not like the original, but even different, or embellishing on them and things like that. But what really strikes out with Liberace, and this theme is a great example of it, is the sneaky, playful virtuosity. And it's something that you really have in your repertoire to be able to play like that, or you don't, because he could so far exceed the existing material that he didn't have to struggle to perform these incredible new versions that he had envisioned. And it was also just like a hard worker. I mean, this generation of musicians that went around creating the songs and touring and promoting the music, I mean, they're just so unique and one of a kind. I don't think the world will ever see what's been going on with musicians in the past ever again, because of this changes in the structure of how things are done. But what hard workers these people were. And you look at people like Michael Jackson, and you could see in his eyes, throughout his life, how tired he was, except when it was performance time. Then it was like, hide how tired you are and just keep performing. It was incredible, just to exhaustion. So it's like what it is you truly appreciate being able to create. And so you work harder. You might have two day jobs instead of one day job. And so it's like you work harder because you appreciate where the world kind of ended you up being able to make music and whatever, and having the creative time to do it. Because before civilization, It's like there's no creative time for this kind of stuff. It's like hunt and keep building stuff, and then it gets blown down, and then maybe there's like a grace period where nature gave you a break, but until like the structure of society, the idea of like having these art-filled lives and having other people to build technologies to help you pursue art is really incredible that it's all occurred like it has. And that's why it shows that they appreciated it by working so very hard. The times have changed where they're kind of looked down on because of their connections with the structures of power. But unfortunately, that's something that all working people have to deal with, is their connection to the powers that be just by default. So, but I can see through that, and I can see the amount of work that's involved with what these people were able to do. And you just, as a listener or an enjoyer of the entertainment, you just see the relaxing part, which is kind of exciting, but you don't see, the years and years in the making of these kinds of things, unless you look into it. But anyways, or if you are a performer or a creative. So this one's just about Liberace, and I'll include the link to his cool piece that I found, which blends the Rachmaninoff Prelude in C-sharp minor, as well as the Godfather theme. And it's just so powerful. I mean, it's like I like listening to it every day. It'll be something I listen to every day or every once in a while when I want to hear it, just because it's powerful. It's cool. So it's like a classic piece. It's a timeless piece for me. And it's another way of looking at music. And that's what's so unique about Liberace, is that when you're listening to his renditions of things, his ad libs and his unique impromptus and all that, it's another way of hearing and experiencing a piece and re-envisioning it and bringing it to new life. That's kind of what the performers are all about. So anyway, I'll leave it at that, and links will be in the description. Have a good one.